company called Bain Healthcare. So I am starting interview. So good morning, good evening, Apurva. How are you today?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good Naga. No, sir. Good Naga. Okay. So Apurva,
Yeah.
I got your profile from a company called Innovative Healthcare Solutions. So we are looking for a tester who can help us in, testing our applications.
Sure.
There are a couple of applications in the development stage, and there are, some applications which are already went into production. We are looking for somebody to see the upgrades and, new functionality additions to the application.
Sure.
So in this regard, we are conducting interviews. So can you explain about yourself, your experience related to testing?
Sure. Naga, I have been living in the United States for the last 5 years, and I'm a business graduate by profession, and I have been working in testing industry for the last 4 years. I would like to do more stuff in testing. Naga, I don't know how to answer this question.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. Whatever you know, you tell me. That's all. I will correct it later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain me about one of your projects, what you have done recently.
My last project was in a bank. It's like Star Bank, and
okay.
I had a chance to work closely with developers and business analysts. They were performing agile methodology, so that's why we had a close contact. And my profile was to do a lot of testing, writing test cases, and
okay.
I also have an experience using SQL and Unix. So, and a lot of times we also have to do meetings and try and find out what exactly the requirements are, what are the changes, and yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Can you, tell me about a couple of test cases you have written in your Flagster Bank?
Yes.
Others, please note down the questions, okay? Those who are listening, please note down the questions.
We had to write a lot of test cases in regards to online banking. Flexer Bank was implementing a new application wherein people could have access from mobile. So I was involved in writing mobile apps, and we wrote a few other yeah.
Okay. So how much comfortable are with Unix?
I'm pretty comfortable with Linux.
So can you tell me what are the commands you used in Unix?
Sure. The main command I used was the great command, where I had to pull out the logs. I used the great commands.
Any other commands and you have used?
Yeah, I used ls command, -al, which helps us retrieve all the files, whatever are there in the system. Then if we want to copy or transfer files or cut and paste files, I used to do that also. If we have to create some files or something, I can create files also. So that's about it. But it was very rare that I had to create a file. I just had to do it once with the help of my Unix.
Okay. Okay. So what is the version of Quality Center you have used?
I have used Quality Center 10.
Okay. So can you just can you just explain me a flow in QC from writing test cases to closing a defect? Can you give me a flow?
Yeah. So QC was mainly to write test cases. So I had to use the test lab and test plan module. Test plan module was to write my test cases. The earlier company, I used to write test cases in my Excel sheet. So I have an option of exporting and importing the test cases from my Excel sheet to test plan module. And once the test cases are returned, I have to go to test lab to try the test cases there. And then we have to run the test cases on the actual application. If the application is successful, it is fine, but if I see any defect, if I see any issues, I have to go to the defect module and I have to note it there. And once I have the application pulled in defect module, I have to assign a developer, and I have to write the status of what the defect is, and do a close follow-up with developers and my entire QA team. Once the defect is taken care of, I have to go back to the test lab and test plan and make a note that the defect is actually found.
Okay. So have you ever used dashboard in Quality Center?
Actually, I have never got a chance to use the dashboard, but I know how it works. But in my last two projects, I have never got a chance to use the dashboard.
Okay. All right. So why are you using SQL in testing?
If we have any defects in the test cases, which is relevant to the data, so that is one of the reasons why we use SQL, because it has all the data in it. So SQL is used to retrieve the data and check what is an issue, whether the application is pulling the wrong data, the server actually has the data or not. That is one of the reasons why we use SQL to verify whether we have correct information on the servers or if there are correct information there, why is it not getting pulled in the application? So SQL helps us find out the information.
All right. So what type of database have you used?
I have used Oracle 10 and SQL Server 9.
Okay. Okay. So at any point of time, have you come across any constraints in SQL?
What type of constraints are you talking about, sir?
There are different types of constraints in SQL, right? Do you know them?
Um, I have never had any problem with any constraints with SQL. And the only thing which I can think about is while writing SQL is the data, like if we have an error in one of the, like say I'll give you an example, there is a UAT box and there is an SIT box. So if I am on the user has an error in a UAT box, there could be one reason that the data, the server, the data server in UAT box may not have been transferred information from SIT box. So that is one of the problems which people would have.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay. So, what is the toughest scenario you have faced while you are doing testing?
The toughest scenario while doing testing was the teamwork between the developers, testers, and a lot of times we pinpoint mistakes or any errors. It's not been liked. It depends on the way we speak with the people. So that is the biggest challenge we have.
Okay.
I have had.
Okay. All right. So, have you ever used Jira?
Yes, I haven't got a chance to use Jira, but I know how to use it. I have taken the training for Jira. It is basically
why Jira is used? Yeah.
Jira is basically a defect tracking tool. In my last two projects, I have had used QC, and we have been using the defect module in QC to do the work. So I haven't usually got a chance to work on Jira. It does the same work what a defect module in QC does.
Okay. All right. So, have you worked on any change requests during your previous project? And what is the change request?
Change request is basically I have seen change request. It's basically a request to change the priorities. Like the manager, we are doing a project and we work on a specific application. The manager sometimes, due to some priorities, asks us to work on something else.
Okay. So, can you explain me what is regression testing?
Yes. Regression testing is basically testing of an application which is having a defect, or application which which we have modified or tested again. So regression testing is done so that we make sure all the other modules and the application works in the same way as it used to work, and it's not affected because of the change done in one of the requirements.
Okay. So, have you supported UAT any point of time?
I have supported UAT, yes. And UAT testing is usually done by the users, and if they have had any queries or defects, they have had contacted me and then find a solution to it.
Okay. So, do you have any questions to me, Apurva, about the project?
Sir, what kind of method do you use in your company? What method do you follow?
Yeah, we are following, two methodologies. One is waterfall as well as agile methodology. So whenever, the project is going as per the normal timings, we are using waterfall. But whenever, the time is, we want to finish the project very soon, or we have to meet some deadlines, or to meet some compliances from the government, then we go for agile methodology. Okay, so we are using both methodologies based on the priorities from the management.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, so Apurva, good job. First of all, you tried your best. So let me give a couple of I would say improvements. Whatever you said, right? What is the best way to improve the possibility to get the selection? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. The first thing, I am going to send one format for the first question. Okay. Whenever the client, asks you explain about yourself, so you have to give a brief description about what you have done at the client place. Okay. So generally that should be covered in the summary. Okay. See, first and foremost thing is, whenever you are taking an interview, please make sure that you have a printout before you. First and foremost thing. Okay. The printout before.
Printout, okay.
Yeah. Yes, you have to keep the printout copy before you. And also, before going to the interview, all of you go through each and every word. Okay. So in his resume, let us see. You write about key KPA, key practice area. Okay, and also you mentioned the CMM, capability maturity model. Okay, so be cautious. Whatever you write on the resume, you must be in a position to answer that. See, basically, what is KPA? Anybody knows what is KPA? See, KPA means, nothing but the numbers, okay? What is the target? Where we stand at this point of time. Okay, suppose what they say, SIT has to be completed by 10th of this month. As on today, are we 50%, 30%, 40%, 70%? Okay, so these are called KPAs. Okay, these are called KPAs. Generally, what they do at the client place, you will send the data to the one person. He will collect all the data and he will present the KPA during the meetings. Okay, number one. So you have to talk about the summary during the first question. Explain about yourself. That means what are the projects you have conducted, what are the projects you have done, and you must talk about all types of testing you have done. Okay, functional testing, regression testing, user acceptance testing, production testing, browser compatible testing, whatever you have to mention everything. But one thing sure I'm telling, you cannot forget functional testing, regression testing, UAT testing, and production testing. Okay, you cannot forget. Okay, so talk about what are the databases you have used. You will say, yes, I have used Oracle, SQL, Informix in various projects. I have used Unix extensively to pull the logs. Whenever there is a defect, I went to the Unix and pull the logs. I have used different databases to see the database insert. I have used XML. I have used XML to see the certain results. Okay, I have used Quality Center to write the test cases and also to write the defects. Okay, so whatever is there in the summary, explain as much as possible and also talk about your projects. I have worked on, my first project is electricity billing system. In electricity billing system there are 4 modules. The first one is meter reads, second is invoice, third is billing, fourth is reports. I written the test cases as soon as I received the business document from the business analyst. Okay, like this, you have to give the complete summary. At least you have to talk continuously for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so this comes with practice. You have to write on the paper and practice it. Okay, go on reading. Repeat again and again and again. Okay, that flow has to come. Okay, that's number one. So my sincere advice to seniors, especially Srikanth, Ramana, Vidya, please you take interviews. Okay, take interviews and go on practicing. If you practice, it will come. Okay, so that is the first thing. Next question. When I asked you about the project, you have to give as much detail as possible. Okay, so let me talk about the medical records project. The medical records project was written in Java, and there are 4 modules: doctor, patient, nurse, and reports. I have worked on the 4 modules. As soon as I received the business document from the business analyst, I written the test cases. After finishing the test cases, I started preparing the data. Once I completed the test cases, I sent the test cases to all members in the team to have their feedback. As soon as the developer completed the coding, I have moved the code from development to QA box. I tested the application. So whenever there is a defect, I raise the defect in the quality center. I followed up with the developer. The initial status of the defect is new. Whenever the defect has been alerted to the developer, the status changes to open. So whenever the developer has completed the code and asked me to retest once again, he changed the status in QC from open to retest. Then I tested once again. Whenever I got the exact result, then I close the defect. If not, I reopen the defect and ask the developer to work on once again. So in the same fashion, I closed all the defects, and then the application code has been moved to UAT box. Okay, so I have supported the users for the UAT testing. Whenever there is a defect under UAT testing, my job was to pull the logs from the Unix box and also the database inserts and to send information to the developer. As soon as the developer fixed the code and he asked me to test the application, I tested on the application and closed and informed the user to retest it once again. Okay. So in this way, I supported the UAT testing. Okay. Once UAT is completed, we have conducted the production testing. So once the application is, all the production servers are successfully tested, then it moved to the customers. The application has been moved to the customers. Like this, you have to give more explanation about the project. Okay. So when I asked about the test cases, you have to be very specific. Okay. Let me talk about 2 or 3 test cases in electricity billing. First one is calculation of meter reading. Number 2, calculation of invoice. Third one is calculation of billing. Okay. So these are the 3 test cases. Okay. Very specifically you have to tell. So whenever a question has been asked for QC, you give as much detail as possible. Okay. We are using Quality Center 10.0. So I have written the test cases in QC. After writing the test cases, I moved the test cases to test lab from test plan. Okay. So I have tested the application based on the test cases one by one. Whenever a test case has failed, I raise the defect in the defect tab or defect module. I have followed up with the developer to close the defects. Okay. So like this, give as much detail as possible. Okay. And then change request, CR. So Apurva, CR means, change request. Change request means whenever CR means change request. Whenever there is an issue with an existing application which is already in production, the developer will fix the code. My job is to test the new code which has been moved into the application, or the code which has been written for the change in the application. Okay. So in my current company, we used to have CRs for every 15 days. Okay. We test in SIT and then UAT and then it goes to the production. So that is about CR. Okay. So a toughest scenario. The toughest scenario what I faced is we are conducting a test for the registration of a customer in electricity billing system. As soon as the customer registers for registering the power or to get the power to their apartment or home or utility. I will explain here once again. Yes, the customer has to receive the email. So we are doing the same testing in SIT. One of the testers, even though he was testing, he was not getting the email. So then I went and verified in the database. In the database, somehow his email was not registered. Then I brought to the notice of the developer. The developer has fixed the code, and then it went into, we were able to close the defect. So you have to be very specific in giving the example. Okay, let me talk about the CR and DR as Apurva is asking. See, for a company, there are some applications that are already in production. Okay, so see, even though we do thorough testing, but still we'll miss, some functionalities. Okay, some different scenarios we miss. So CRs are used to fix the, defects which are already in production. Okay, which are already in production. So they are nothing but small changes to the application, or small corrections to the code. Whenever a developer fixes the code, your job is to make sure that whatever the change he has done, you have to test it. At the same time, the existing functionality should not be changed. It is nothing but a regression testing. Okay, it's nothing but regression testing. So generally, every company will have CR for once in 2 weeks. Okay, there are many applications. So wherever there is, changes, all the applications will move into production. Okay, so your job is to make sure that you will test in SIT, UAT, and the production night you will test in the production server. ER means enterprise release. That means in enterprise release, there may be 10 ERs or 9 ERs per year. New applications, big changes to the applications, new functionalities, will be added during enterprise release. So ER means, it's a big change. So most of the developers and testers will be involved in this process. Okay. So on the ER night, many applications will go into production after production testing. That is ER. Okay. So finally, whenever the interviewer asks a question about, do you have any questions? Yes, definitely you must ask at least 2 to 3 questions. First question, what is the status of the project? Whether the project is at the beginning stage, the project is already completed. Okay, so you want to know the status of the project. Second question, you can ask, what type of Unix you are using, what type of database you are using, okay, are you using any, what type of methodology you are using, etc. And also you can ask them one more question. So in your company, so whether everybody will be asked to write the test cases, or everybody is asked to write the data, okay. So like this, you must ask the question, or you can ask, can I know about, what type of project, you're expecting us to work. Okay. So at least 2 to 3 questions you should ask. That way, and also before going to the interview, you should know about the company. They will definitely ask you, so have you checked about our company? They will ask you. Okay. So you have to be proactively think about these things. Okay. So all of you note down these things as much as possible and try to repeat. Any questions from anybody?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Apurva, go ahead.
Yeah, see, I was very confused about giving an interview today.
Your voice is
So I
low,
don't know.
Apurva.
Naga, can you hear me now?
I can. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah,
Naga, today I was very nervous and confused. But overall, if it was an interview question, like if you were a recruiting guy, would you have given me chance, or would you not have given me chance based on my today's interview?
No, it
like,
won't cut,
you would have
Apurva.
given
You have
chance,
to,
was it a 50?
no. The reason, Apurva, you have to be specific. See, first thing is, let me appreciate your confidence. You just came forward. I like it. But in real time, right? They expect a little bit more. Okay. So, but let me tell you one thing. You take one more interview. I'll ask another my friend Srinivas Gali to conduct the interview. You can do very well. I'm telling you. Okay.
Yeah.
So keep on practicing. That's what I'm telling. Keep on practicing. Okay. Keep on practicing. Whatever you miss, fill up the gaps. Go to the next level. Okay. So go to the Google, search interview questions on manual testing. Repeat as much as possible. Read as much as possible. Okay. That's the only for secret I'm telling. Go ahead.
Another, I have one question.
Go ahead.
You asked a question about SQL constant. So can you tell me a little bit about the question?
Yeah, constants, I want him to talk about, primary key, foreign key, these things. That's my intention.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the things, you have to talk about. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what do we have to talk about, the primary key and secondary key, this foreign key?
Yeah, I will anyhow in the class I'll explain. Okay. Is a lot of theories there. Now it will take a lot of time. So do one thing, Apurva. Go to the Google and verify. I send the link, right? wthschools.com. Go there and read that one. Okay. So these are basic things we should know. Okay. Primary key, foreign key. These are just go through that. I will explain in the class. So any questions about interview? Anybody else?
You asked about Unix. So what commands do you use in Unix?
Yeah, you have to talk about other things also, Apurva. See, you mentioned only grep, right? There is a tail command is there. Okay. And one more thing, we won't create any files. Huh? Remember, we won't create any files in Unix. We only go and verify the files. Okay. Always remember, all of you, please. In Unix, we are not going to create any files. We only go and verify the files which are created by the system. Okay, which are already there. All log files. We'll do that. But we don't create any files. See, that's what I'm saying. Whenever I teach in the class, you please try to be focused. But it comes with time. It takes time for you to get into the right things. Okay. So let me give one more, as Apura writes, Apura primary key means for every table we have only one primary key. Primary key is a
Sir, I understood. Sir, I know what is primary and foreign key. No, what I was trying to ask you is, you said you wanted to talk about primary and secondary key in constraints.
Yeah.
So my question was, what are we supposed to talk? I know what primary and foreign key are. So
see, they want to know your. They want to know whether you know it or not. That's all. See, they may ask you what is union. You have to give an example. Okay.
Okay.
See, when you are dealing with the database, see, you must know what is the primary key in a table, right?
Yeah.
You must know what is the primary key in a table. Then only you can do some manipulations, right? Suppose they want you to pull information based on one key. So you should know, right? That's what they expect you. But if you ask me how much extent you do, it all depends. Sometimes, you'll go and write test case only in some projects. Sometimes they ask you to work as a coordinator between the teams. Sometimes they ask you to test, they'll give the data and they ask you to run the test cases. If you go to the Verizon Wireless or AT&T, you are working on devices. Okay. So you should know the.
I got confused. I just went to W3 schools and I saw there is a constraint command in SQL. So I was thinking you were asking what was the constraint you faced in SQL. That is what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See, they want to know whether you know fundamentals or not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They want to know the fundamentals. See, one more thing.
You know about Unix, primary, check, default.
No. Unix primary key will be in SQL, not in Unix.
Yeah.
Primary key will be there in SQL, not in Unix. Okay. So one more thing, be confident. Okay, all of you must be confident. Whatever is saying, be confident. That comes with practice. Okay. So write on the paper. Explain with yourself. Write on the paper. Read as many times as possible. You test yourself. Okay. Then you will be all set. Okay. So who is taking the entry for next class? Okay. So all of you think about it. Okay. And let me know. So this Saturday, I'll be talking about, I'll give the recap of what we discussed in the last Sunday class, and I will talk about different types of testing, SDLC. I think that will be on Saturday. Okay? So anybody has any specific questions?
Naga, I have one question. Whenever means, can you tell me about yourself? You asked that time means I wrote already my resume, but I like to verify what type of language. Only Java, because I don't know C++. Java also I don't know, but what language we should mention?
No, see, you are not supposed to know the language. You just supposed to tell the language name. That's all. Okay.
Okay, just I have to mention the language name.
That's all. You just mention the name of the language. That is enough. Okay. The reason we are all black box testers. Okay. We are all black box testers. Okay. So do one thing, all of you. What are the questions I have asked and I have given answers, right? Why don't you, all of you, write and send me the answers. Okay. So those who know, write down. Otherwise, those who don't know, please talk to your friends and get the answers. Go to the Google, do the research. I'm telling you, if you do the research, you will learn a lot. I'm telling you.
So we are getting this record, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't write on all questions. So good.
Yes. Okay, all of you if you write, it will be more. That is enough for you to take interviews. Okay.
Sorry. Good.
Yeah. Go ahead, one by one. Yeah.
You can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
on. So if actually I was thinking this weekend, but evening next Thursday I like to give interview.
Very good. Next Thursday, right? Okay.
Yeah. My evening is good morning.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam, you were just asking about the question and answers. So which questions are you mentioning about?
What is it, Apurva? What is it?
Mentioned that you just asked that we need to write the answers of whatever questions you were asked.
Yeah, whatever whatever we discussed right now, right? Whatever we discussed, if you write down, that will be whatever we discuss right now. Just put in your own language and keep it that is useful for you, right?
Sure. Yeah.
See, what I mentioned is if somebody writes and sends to everybody. So those want, they will go through that, and that will be helpful to everyone. That's my intention. Okay.
Sure.
So
okay.
Now I have another question. So QM analysts, they are only supporting UAT for means smoke testing and load testing, right? So I can write down that, right?
No, everybody has to do all the tests as per the requirement. Okay.
Okay.
See, if the client wants to do UAT testing, you will support it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
See, once you go to the client, you never know. Okay.
Yeah.
You may be asked to do only SIT testing.
Okay.
Okay, and somebody may ask to do support UAT testing. Okay. Somebody will support production testing, like that. Okay.
Means other testing, QA they have to do, but as a supporter, they have to support for the load testing and means.
Load testing will be done by automation testers. That's not our job.
Okay.
For load testing, there are separate automation guys are there. They will do that. We will not do that.
Okay. So what testing, I mean, supporting as a supporter tester, can you see what they are doing? As supporting means black box.
What is it, Malika?
Means as a black box tester or functional tester, they have to do other testing, right? Like smoke testing, functional testing.
See, we are all black boxes, right? We are all black box testers. That means we are not seeing the code.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Whatever we do is black box testing. That means we don't see the code. We see only the result of the code. We check the functionality. Okay?
Okay.
When you calculate the bill is coming or not, you will verify, that's all. For 100 units, are you getting $100 bill or not? That's all.
Okay. So when they are supporting UAT, then they are not supporting means load testing or stress testing, anything?
The load testing will be supported by automation testers. We will not do that.
Okay.
What we do
only black
functional
box
testing. Black box testing, nothing but SIT testing, UAT testing, production testing, regression testing, web browser testing, all the database testing, all tests we will do.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. No
Naga, will you be covering UAT and SAT everything on Saturday?
In the due course, I will cover. Okay.
Okay, because everything.
See, everything. I know everything will be new for you.
Yes.
I know. See, this is interview, right? Just I want why I want everybody to come is just to know how the interview looks like.
Okay.
How you have to prepare. That's the reason. But classes will go as it is. Okay.
Okay.
All things will be discussed in detail, and you can ask the questions, and questions will be answered so that you can understand very well. Okay. But one more thing, what want everybody is to attend the Tuesday and Thursday class also. Okay. See, the secret in getting a job is how much you talk more about the subject. That is important. Suppose if I say primary key, you must able to talk about it on the spot. If I say what's the difference between HTTP and XML, you must be in a position to talk about it. XML is used for transporting and storing the data. HTTP is used for displaying the data. When it will come, you must read it many number of times.
Okay.
1 or 2 times, no, it won't work. And 1 or 2 times if you read, the flow will not be there. There will be gaps in the, while you are explaining, there will be gaps. So they know that, if the gaps are there means we are not very strong. If you are very strong, it just flows like that. That comes with practice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is, the key.
Okay. I have to ask you. You asked me a question on UAT, and I'm very sure I did not answer it to the mark. So what would be the right answer? Like you asked me a question for UAT, like have you ever did UAT testing? So what
UAT will support UAT. UAT will support UAT. Okay.
Yeah. So I said in the same way that I supported. So that was the right answer.
Support is the correct answer, but how you support? You have to explain, right?
Yeah.
So whenever user conducts the UAT testing, you support it. How? If the user, successfully tests the test cases, it is fine. But if he comes across any defects, then it is your job to pull the logs from Unix box as well as the, inserts from SQL box and send it to the developer and follow with the developer to fix the defect. Okay. Once the defect is fixed from your end, then we will ask the user to test it once again. Okay, that is your job. Okay. So you have to be in a position to explain this. Yeah, of course it comes with, see now you know more things, right? At least.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you take another entry, then you will be all set. Yeah.
And Nana, while preparing a resume, they write operating systems, and they write different kind of operating systems like Windows Vista, XP, 2000, NT, AIX. So why do we have to write the operating system? Like, I'm just trying to understand what.
Yeah, the reason is when you are testing an application, you have to test in different operating systems. Okay, it should work on Windows Vista, it should work on Windows 2000, Windows 7, Windows XP, wherever the application it should work there. That is the reason they tested the application in those, different versions, different voices.
So is there a question they can ask that what is the difference between Windows Vista and Windows 2000 while testing? Can they ask something like that?
See, testing is same, right? Testing is same. But what they ask is, so tell me the versions, tell me the different OS you have used. That's all.
Okay. So they won't go in detail because.
It depends, But generally, we have to talk about different OS. That's all. Okay. Same defects will come. If the code is not supporting, defects will come. That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so Vidya, when you are taking Vidya interview?
Nagale, just now after a long break, I'm in the class.
Yeah, take your time, prepare yourself now, but try to, make it.
I'm sure I will take it soon. Yeah, I'm sure I will take it soon.
Very good. What about Srikanth? Srikanth, are you there? Srikanth, are you there? Okay, all right, then all of you will catch up on Saturday. Have a good evening then, okay?
Thank you, Nara.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nara.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nara.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.